What is up, my dashing dudes? I am TheHanzTv, and I hope that y'all are ready to take a dive into the past, because today we're resurrecting an old subreddit for the channel. It's r/EntitledParents. Our first post for the day comes from Mac Moosey. How an entitled Karen went from, "My kids are in the car waiting for me," to, "He has a gun, call the police," in 0.4 seconds flat. Well, this is not the experience I thought I'd have on my way home from the office this afternoon. But alas, here we are. While enduring my afternoon commute, I decided to stop at the old WM to pick up some cat food to avoid having to do it over the weekend. I usually make a point to shop at Bullseye to avoid the WM tomfoolery, but WM was closer and I was tired. I walk in and immediately experience the cacophony of Boxing Day that I'd completely forgotten about. The customer service desk line was past Subway and down into menswear, and the checkouts were an absolute nightmare. I had half a mind to turn around and leave, but I resigned to tolerating it now than dealing with a potentially worse situation on a Saturday. I made a beeline for the pet section, find the biggest bag of the brand I'm keen on, hoist it over my shoulder, and off to the checkout I went. As I made my way over, I glanced past the employee station sections and peeked at self-checkout, which was even more of a mess. I decided to interact with another human in WM for the first time in months. As I'm standing in line, I eye a Red Bull in the cooler at the end cap and snag one. I'm perhaps the third or fourth person in line at the lovely 10, maybe 20 items or less line, a limit that people love to test on an hourly basis. But I digress. It was moving at a decent enough speed for a day like today. I worked in retail and retail management for a collective 6 years, so I pride myself on being one of the most patient and understanding customers on the East Coast. The Karen behind me, however, was not. She had a shopping cart parked too close to my butt for my liking, and frequently sighed and tapped her foot on the bottom section of her shopping cart, from the sound of it anyway, and tusked and tutted regularly. If I rolled my eyes any harder, they may have dislodged themselves from their sockets. I hate waiting as much as the next person, but what I hate even more are people who feel the need to do so and make that much noise in the process. The cashier summons the next person in line, and now there's just a single soul ahead of me. Karen huffs and puffs again, and inches forward, bumping me with her shopping cart. I half turn and glance at the shopping cart and then at her, giving her a neutral eyebrow raise, hoping she'd get the hint and take a step or two back. Spoiler alert, she didn't. But it was then that she decided that either her bumping me with her cart or my decision to turn around and acknowledge her existence was the green light to bother me. And so it begins. To start off, our cast. EK is entitled Karen, which we've already met. C is cashier, SH shopper, SM store manager, AP is asset protection, PO is police officer, ooh, gotta love it when that comes in, and me, Alexios the Eagle Bearer. Excuse me. Silence. Slightly louder. Excuse me. I turn slightly with the cat food still hoisted over my shoulder. Me? Yes. Could you let me in front of you? I'm tired of waiting. Glances into EK's shopping cart. I only have 2 things. I'll be quick. Yeah, but I'm tired of waiting. This line is ridiculous. Well, I can't help that, sadly. You kids have no respect for your elders. I'm 26 years old. I'm hardly a kid, and you look about 36. You're hardly what I'd consider an elder, and you're certainly not mine. Wow. Rude much? I just asked to get in front of you in line. Yes, and I heard you perfectly fine. Look, with respect, if our roles were reversed, I'd totally let you. But you have a cart full of things while I only have 2. Please, I'm just trying to wait for my turn in peace. Your cat can wait. My kids are in the car waiting for me. Not a me problem. Hope they have supervision. Emits some kind of guttural growl or sneer. At this point, the customer/shopper in front of me turns his head slightly to glance behind him and glances at the large bag of cat food over my shoulder. Hey man, do you want to go ahead of me? Nah, that's alright. You've been waiting longer than me. Thanks though, I appreciate it. I'll go if he won't. I wasn't speaking to you. Why, I never... emitting more guttural noises. The customer ahead of me took his turn at the cashier, and I, now mildly exhausted from having a 20-something pound bag of cat food over my shoulder, bent forward to prop it against the checkout conveyor belt, since the customer in front of me had it loaded with his items. It's worth mentioning that at this point of the story, I have a license to carry, and I always do. A 9mm compact in an inner waistband holster in the back of my pants. What I didn't realize was that when I bit forward, my bomber jacket lifted enough to reveal enough to determine what was tucked away securely. In my state, printing, the outline of a firearm showing through your clothes, or anything of the sort isn't necessarily illegal. Neither is open carrying. It's just better manner to keep your concealed carry, well, concealed. Usually to avoid making people uncomfortable, or giving someone an excuse to cause a scene. Which is exactly what this Karen decided to do. Oh, that's a shocker right there. You have a gun. Silence with an eye roll. He has a gun. He has a gun. I have a license to carry it. Will you be quiet and mind your business? He threatened to shoot me. Help. I need a manager. Someone call the police. Now, the entire front end of the store is looking over in our direction, and I honestly just want to sink into the disgusting linoleum and fall into oblivion. The cashier rolls her eyes and picks up the phone to summon asset protection and the store manager. Asset protection arrives first on the scene, with the manager arriving a few moments later. What seems to be the problem here? That guy has a gun and he threatened to shoot me. Oh my lord. Ma'am, please calm down. Sir, what's the issue? I didn't threaten to shoot her. I've been waiting in line minding my business. Sir, if you have a gun, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store. We do not allow guns here. There's no posted signage stating this fact, but that's fine. I'd like to get away from her anyway. No, I want him arrested. He threatened to kill me. I did not. You're a freaking liar. You threatened to kill me. You're insane and a negligent parent, miss. My kids are in the car. How dare you bring my kids into this? Are you going to shoot them too? Excuse me, I'm the store manager here. What is going on? This woman claims this man has a gun and had threatened to shoot her. I just asked him to leave. He barely said a word to her. Yeah, he's been in line quiet and she's been harassing him about taking his place in line. He didn't threaten to shoot her. He's barely said anything to her. Still, you can't have guns in the store. You need to leave or I'll call the police. Excuse me, I don't see a gun. Sir, what's happened? I leaned down to put the bag of cat food down, since I got tired of holding it, and my jacket must have lifted and revealed my gun. I have a license to carry, and it was concealed. Well, we don't allow open carry. Concealed carry is allowed in accordance with our state regulations. Sir, may I please see your LTC? Opens my wallet and hands over my LTC. Hands it back after looking at it. Looks like you to me. I apologize for the inconvenience. AP, meet me in the staff room in 5 minutes. It seems we need to review our policies and guidelines before you ask customers to leave unnecessarily. No, I want him arrested. He threatened me and my children. Aren't you listening? Well, someone in the store must have called the police, because a second later a police officer approached just as EK finished screeching. The store manager explained the situation to the officer, who then heard from the cashier and the shopper in line from in front of me, verified my LTC, and dismissed me. Officer, please forgive me. It may not be my business, but EK told me she left her children in the car. I don't know how old they are, but given the fact that this whole nonsense took up God knows how long, someone might want to check on those kids. Excuse me? Ma'am, I'm going to need you to escort me to your vehicle. EK began on another tirade of screaming and arguing and ended up being removed from the store by the police officer. I don't know what happened to her or the kids. Maybe the kids were of age and could be left alone, but given her appearance, the impression I got from her, they were most likely kids who shouldn't be left alone. I'll never understand these entitled mothers that just go around and accuse people of things that could ruin their lives. Like, do they not see that that has consequences that comes along with it? This is insane. Our second and final post comes from Tim Travels 77, and it's called White Elephant Tantrum. I spent the day with my significant other, my child, and his two at their grandparents' house. They don't really do much gift exchanging for the adults. It's all for the kids. This was my first year there, so I got each of the kids a nice gift. My significant other is really close with his nephews, and he spends a lot of his time answering their questions. snapping Lego pieces together for them, and being climbed on. It's pretty great to watch, because his kids are in their early teens and he misses the toddler years. We put together a fun white elephant exchange just for the kids. Most of the kids wanted the same thing, a Nintendo Switch. I'm the nerdy dad, and I know how big of a deal this is. I got my Game Boy Advance on Christmas and didn't put it down for 4 years. Oh man, Tim, that is very nostalgic because my first ever system was a Game Boy Advance and I got Pokemon for it. And I never put that thing down. I still have it today actually, bud. Now back to our story. I got all of the boys one. My favorite, I'll never tell, is my significant other's niece. She's 6 and a total girly girl. She is the only girl in the family and is usually somewhere in the background because she is shy. Her mom told me that she really wants a Polly Pocket. I loaded up on lots of Polly Pocket stuff to match the price I spent on the boys. I found one that was about the size of a Nintendo Switch and wrapped it in bright pink paper. All the boys had theirs wrapped in a favorite superhero or anime character. What we did instead of the traditional white elephant was have them make trades until they correctly guessed what gift belonged to each kid. The funny thing is that we had their grandparents dress them in PJs to match the gift wrap the night before. 3 out of 8 of the kids there live with the grandparents because their mom has a drug problem. She is the entitled parent of this story. We get everyone swapping gifts and laughing, trying to figure out the riddles. A couple of times we are sure they figured it out from their comments, but miss again. It's a lot of fun and everyone is laughing. EP suddenly goes to one of her younger sons, whispers something to him. He jumps up, grabs the pink colored gift, and rips it open. He just stands there laughing. My significant other grins, thinking he's just being playful, and goes to get the gift from him to retape it. EP grabs the package and sits on the floor in the ball, covering it. My significant other just stares at his sister confused. The game's not over, I'm just going to retape it. EP, I know it's the best gift, because you want niece to get it. You guys always baby her. It's a kid's game. You should be ashamed. Everyone was telling her to stop being a child and give the gift back so it could be put back in the game. Everyone had been having fun until she lost her mind. Everyone wants the best of everything for her. Why can't anyone ever do anything for my kids? Your kids live with us. We do everything for them. We do more for them than all the other kids combined. Stop being crazy. I hate you all. Then she starts ripping the package apart. When she sees what it is, she throws it at the wall. Everyone came to a dead silence. She storms out. The kids all look concerned, but no one is crying. We just get them reseated. I give them all the correct packages, because everyone is so quiet. While they are unwrapping them, my significant other gets the giant hamper of Polly Pocket toys from our trunk. All the boys are oohing and awing about their gift. When our niece sees the hamper, her whole face lights up. I never knew a 6-year-old had enough body strength to choke you out during a hug, but I almost found out. For the rest of the day, she was sitting on the floor surrounded by toys. She looked so happy. The boys all took turns helping each other set up their devices. I will be forever known as the cool uncle. As we were ready to leave, we heard my partner's brother and 2 sisters in the yard arguing. The EP sister was screaming about something, and the other 2 were telling her she couldn't leave because she was high. My significant other later told me that she was saying that I purposefully tricked her into thinking our niece's gift were better than the 3 sons' gifts, and that I was gaslighting her on purpose. Nothing to do with the story, but I wanted to add this. The highlight of my Christmas was teaching all my nephews to do the armpit fart trick. Their parents were playfully annoyed because they did it all evening. I can't help it. I have to pass down our traditions to the next generation. This went from being a real bitch of a story to read to being something actually pretty wholesome. I can't imagine the joy that it brings you to know that you're the cool uncle and that you're making your nieces and nephews happy. Good for you, Tim. I'm happy for you. Well, alright my dashing dudes. I feel like that's enough entitlement for one day, so I'm gonna leave this here. If you like the stories, I'll link them down in the description as always. And if you like the video, subscribe, share, drop a like, and a comment down below with what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to my patrons Connor, Rafaela, and Fia Mysterios. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and it gives me so much love and happiness knowing that y'all are supporting the channel the way that y'all do. And a huge thank you to all of my dashing dudes, everyone who is subscribed and everyone who watches my videos. It makes me so happy knowing that y'all enjoy the content that I put out, and just during this holiday season, it makes me so happy to know that I'm giving y'all something that y'all can enjoy. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.